Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience tuning in the South and our online audience joining us around the world. Thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could be with us as well. I could not close out the year that is 2020 without welcoming back my good friend, Mr. Angelo Ellerbee, to our program today. Many people know him as the president and founder of Double Exposure Media Relations. He's worked with some amazing people over the years, both rising stars and those who are seasoned in the business. We're going to talk to him about his 2020, but also what it's been like for him to have his own work recognized and what he's looking forward to as we're heading into the new year. Also, I definitely want to get his advice for all of you out there who are wondering, can you still be able to do this? This has been a challenging year for a lot of people, especially those in the entertainment industry. Mr. Ellerbee is just the right person to give you all that advice to get you motivated. Mr. Ellerbee, so glad to have you back on with us.
It's my pleasure, Cyrus. Always do. I'm just so honored to be a part of your 17-year celebration. I wish you nothing but the best, and it's my pleasure being back on with you.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, look, we're celebrating 70. That's nothing on your 50 plus that you have had in the entertainment industry, and so many great things have come. I mentioned you're being a celebrity publicist, but you also are a best-selling author of books like Ask Angelo, and also an entrepreneur as well, with your own candles and other items. Talk to us about this experience, Mr. Ellerbee, because we get a bit of your story in Ask Angelo, where you're kind of able to take us back to how this all began. But what has it been like for you to look at where you came from and where you are today?
As I can remember, I had a great beginning. I came from a lovely, warm, fulfilling family. I can never, ever look at the mistakes or the displeasures of life. I can only look at those things that make me smile and that are bright. It comes along with the territory called life. I can only appreciate good energies. I can only appreciate good people around me servicing with me with good energies. I think that's what life is about. I think that's what this current election showed us. You have to really be a part of a commitment to want to make change, to want to live better, to want to think better, to want to do better, to just want to be better. And I think we're understanding all of the right chemistry of moving progressively forward to reaching our goals. This pandemic it's been a crazy year, but I also looked at God just also keeps blessing us and us understand what family is about. It brought closeness. It brought togetherness. It brought us together as a community. People were caring for people that they didn't know. People were feeding their next-door neighbors who couldn't eat. People were making sure that they had lights and they had candles. And this whole pandemic was a very negative thing. It took a whole lot of lives, but it brought a whole lot of communities together. So my past to my present to where I'm at today, I'm just very thankful. And I think that you've got to sit back and really be thankful for the blessings of living, for the blessings of and not questioning God's judgment to do what he does. I think we have to move progressively forward to keeping that prize, keeping that energy and that prize. That prize will unfold in front of your eyes. You just got to believe, claim victory, and keep fighting for what you believe in and being who you are.
And I'm so glad you said that last part, being who you are. In the book, Ask Angelo, that it's hard to believe now. Mr. Ellerbee, it was now 4 years ago when that book came out, back in 2016. And you talked about that, embracing authenticity. And because you have been so real, you've been able to keep it real with people. We see it in the conversations you have with people that you outlined in that particular book. I want to talk about that slash behind your name. I mean, here you had at that point had over 45 years in the business. Why was writing a book? Why was that something that you felt like you needed to do?
I just thought that it was really important to share my experiences, why God had granted me the time to live on this earth. And I thought that it would only be helpful to someone who would pick up this book and read it. I think that our contributions to our lives and to our careers become very important, not necessarily for me, but for the next person. And I wanted to share with them what has taken place in my life and how I thought that my life's road can help them, can show them what street to go down, which street is going to be detoured, how to get around that detour. So the book meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me because people mean a lot to me. And I want people, I just think that the commitment to community and culture is just really important. And so the book is written because I wanted to share with them my many, many experiences. I came from Newark, New Jersey. I came from the bricks of Newark. My mom had an 8th grade education. There was 7 of us. So nobody could ever realize that they were going to grow and be somebody that would meet kings and queens, somebody that would travel around the world 3 and 4 times and speak to and be a part of. This is where I came from, and I just wanted people to understand you can be all you want to be. There should be no doubt in your mind about being great, greater, and then the greatest. It's your own victory. And so I wrote the book because I wanted, it's just like watching the news over the weekend and to fall back into the graces of everyone's beginning, of our newly elected officials, and how mothers and fathers fought for education and right, and it always reflect. We're all supposed to learn by somebody else's struggles and plight, and just to see that our vice president-elect is sharing and giving promise to young girls, young people all around this world, this globe, that you can be what you want to be. It's like consistency, strive, and believing that you can. That's what's really important in life. You got to believe in order to make somebody else believe.
Yeah, that's so true. And you've been able to do that, Mr. Ellerbee. And I should say, too, you and I, in our regular conversations, we poke fun at each other quite a bit. I think you poke more fun at me than I do at you, but that's okay.
No, you stand to be correct.
But I bring that up because the way that you approach life, the way you approach people has not only propelled you, but let's not gloss over the fact that you've been able to help propel the careers of countless artists out there. I want to talk about that because one of my favorite movies is Mr. Holland's Opus. And there was Mr. Holland who had this great idea of he was going to be this great musician, and he ended up teaching at a school. But the students that he ended up teaching ended up becoming some really recognizable figures in their respective fields. And at the end of the movie, they said that we are your opus. Is that kind of how you feel when you look at not only the big names that we know, but also even this year, the artists that are rising stars? Is that how you feel when you look at them, that they kind of are a testament to your work?
No, not really. I just really believe that it's important that I help people. I don't know. I think it's an innate ability that maybe I just have. I think that what someone taught me, it becomes my job to teach them. And it's also my job to give people a chance, give them chances. It's not, life isn't a baseball game. You don't get 3 strikes, you're out because you failed or because you got incarcerated or because you did drugs or you didn't achieve your goals. I believe that life is to be challenged, and you should fight against all those things. You went through whatever you went through. But that doesn't say that you can't grow and be great and be acknowledged and be a contributor to society. And so if we don't teach them and give them chances, then we are not really the Americans in which we speak of. We're not really human in the way that we speak and that we go out and We tell people we are. I just think that everybody deserves a chance. The guy that is in prison, the girl that's in prison, the domestic violence victims, the HIV and AIDS victim, the cancer, everybody deserves another chance at life. And so collectively or individually, however you want to see it, it becomes our job just to care about the next person and to see somebody grow. What I do is what I do. I don't never look at it to be something that I become braggadocious about, I hope that. No, because half of the people, it's 50 years. I've forgotten half of them. I'm more interested in these young artists and aiding and assisting them than those high-profile artists that still are roster. I think that I could serve to be such a wonderful engine to their lives, such a great vehicle, if I take time with them and show them the proper way of dealing in business and conducting yourselves and teaching them the who, what's, the whens, the wheres, and the whys, and it's not just about your talent. It's about your structure. It's about your infrastructure. It's about you and you keeping it real. So I keep it real with everybody. But I think at the end of the day, my job is to really educate and stimulate and hopefully motivate the young artists and young talent that comes my way with some real food, with some real intelligence. And I speak their language, if you understand what I'm saying, so they understand where I'm coming from. I'm totally no nonsense when it comes down to the business that they seek to be a part of.
Yeah. Wow, what a great thing. And I know there's going to be many more of those up-and-coming artists to come. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, though, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome back the one and only Mr. Angelo Ellerbee. He is the president and the CEO of Double Exposure Media Relations, but he's also an individual who's been recognized not only as a master publicist, but also a best-selling author. Earlier this year, a few months ago, Mr. Ellerbee, Sapphire Emerald magazine featured you on the cover with the subtitle, "The King of PR." I want to talk about, why are you laughing? Let's get that part before I ask the question. Why do you laugh when I say that?
I'm laughing. I laughed when they asked me to do the cover. I laughed when I saw the cover. I laughed, but now that you mention it, because my job is to get covers for my clients. And when they asked me if I would do the cover, I said to the girl, I said, "Are you joking? But I have this artist, and I have this artist, and I have this artist that, you should consider to do the cover on." She said, "No, we really want to put you on the cover." And from that, I have got about 5 other offers of people asking me to conduct photo shoots to be on the cover of their magazines. And so it is an honor, and I'm very, 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 very proud that people would even consider me or find that my contributions are worthy enough to put on the cover of their magazines. I only laugh at it because it's out of the norm for me to even accept it. But I'm accepting them all now because I think it serves as an example for young people who are behind the scenes very much to how I am, to be considered for something that's in the forefront.
Well, isn't there also, this is what I was going to actually get to, and I think it's an interesting thing, because some of your clients, like Ms. Dionne Warwick and others, have been featured on the cover of Sapphire Emerald magazine. But I'm curious, you and I have hosted a segment together that I look forward to bringing back, Ask Angelo, and wouldn't you agree, though, and wouldn't you tell your clients, I'm curious about this, you and I hadn't discussed it, but that you are only as good as your last project. So isn't it always a thing to try to do that next big thing and not rest on what you have done?
No, I don't think that you should rest on your morals. I do think of advancing yourself as an individual and as an entrepreneur. I just never, ever considered to be on covers of magazines. I always let my work speak for itself, and in return, I always get a return client coming back to me because I put them forward. And I'm not saying that I do not welcome the opportunity to further branding branding my company. I do. I welcome it. But, first and foremost, I have to consider what keeps me moving and what makes me happy, and that's the further development and the visibility of my clients. And I do accept what people offer to me and bring my way. I understand that it's been 50 years, and I understand that people are attempting to give me roses and flowers before I guess why I am living, and I can smell them and have an appreciation to them. And they find me to be a role model. I think it's a wonderful thing. But first and foremost, I'm in business to orchestrate, oversee, supervise, and manage the publicity strategies for my clients.
Yeah, right. Well, and I know that they definitely appreciate it, as you said, because they keep coming back to you. I know because we keep being able to talk to them on this program. But I've said to you before, and I want to say it to you again, and then we're going to get into some thoughts for our audience out there as they're kind of navigating this year, Mr. Ellerbee, and moving forward. It amazes me that there are artists that and I've said it to you before, I would not have known about if it was not for Angelo Ellerbee in Double Exposure Media Relations. I know I'm not the only person who tells you that, and some of these people go on, and I think to myself, wait a minute, I remember them from when Mr. Ellerbee scheduled them for an interview with Conversations Live. So I want to talk about that as far as growth. What is that? Because you mentioned earlier about working with these up-and-coming artists. What is it like for you to see them embrace their wings and soar?
I smile. Sometimes I chuckle. Sometimes I call them up on the phone. Sometimes they will call me on the phone and say, thank you. And they would say to me, thank you very much. And I say, what are you thanking me for? And they would say, look at what's going on in my life. Look what's going on. It's only because of you. I said, no. God said you have to take a step. If you take some steps and you can convince people to take some steps with you, He will bring you to where you need to be. You did this, not me. We did it as a collective, but you're in the forefront. It all has to do about claiming victory. It all has to do about keeping yourself positive. And I got to keep saying, being who you are, whoever you may be. Be original. We got enough of people out here trying to duplicate a sound. Don't duplicate nobody's sound. Create your own sound. Do what it is that is original. Do what it is that is you. We got enough of duplications on every artist underneath the sun. We need originality, and you need to be original. No matter who tells you different, this is your career, and you have to bring your career into a culture of acceptance. And that can only work with your confidence and your faith and your belief in your music and your craft.
Yeah, so true. You mentioned earlier, and I have alluded to it as well, Mr. Ellerbee, this has not been the 2020 that many people had expected. It's been a very difficult year for a lot of people. Your industry has been impacted in a severe way, not only, of course, when it comes to music, but also we look at other forms of entertainment as well. How have you been able to navigate this with your clients, and what have you been able to tell them to let them know the importance of not giving up?
Well, I feed them the same meal that I feed myself each and every single day. I said, I think what we have to do is that we have to sit at the same table. We'll have to eat the same food. And that is faith and belief and learning the importance of getting around detours of life. This pandemic is a detour. Now, let's just see whether strong people survive that. You got to take faith and belief. Then you have to take a strategy to say, how can I still eat? How can I still work? We must be innovative. We must be innovative and find ways that so let's start talking to your fans. Let's start to use social media to your advantage. Let's start using live streaming to your advantage where people can see, feel, hear you, and talk the message of what is going on in their lives as well. Or do live concerts and live streaming. If there is a will, there is a way. This has been, unfortunately, the most lucrative my business has been in 4 years. I have been receiving new clients after new clients after new clients because people are understanding they have now a independence to do what they want to do. What are we going to do? They need leadership and they need guidance. Even some of my stellar A-listers are doing live streaming. They're doing all the things they have to do in order to make and one to keep a presence with their fans, and also to eat. So I just said we're going to eat at the same table, but this is what I'm serving today. I don't know if it's going to be palatable to you or digestible, but this is what we're going to eat today: faith, belief, victory. We're going to eat that. We'll probably have to eat it 3 times a day until we get food that we have become accustomed to. But that's what the ingredients, and that's what's going to be sitting on the table today. And you get through that. You get through all of the dilemmas of being sad, being depressed, being lonely, and I said, you know what? Because everybody's going to feel that way. But then you got to say, okay, let's click our heels 3 times and come out of the land of Oz. We got to exist. We're still living. And we need to be thankful for that and find our way out of it. And we are finding our way out of it.
Right.
And when you're put up against the wall or you're put inside of a closet, you want to find a way out so that you can breathe and so that you can exist.
Yeah.
So it's like you find your way to your destiny because you have to. Unless you're sitting back on millions and millions and millions of dollars and you don't. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's a great reminder, I think, for all of us as we're trying to find our way through and be able to realize that our best days can still be ahead of us. But it really is, as Mr. Ellerbee says, about doing the work. Again, everyone, Angelo Ellerbee has been our guest. He is the CEO of Double Exposure Media Relations and the best-selling author. We've been talking with him today not only about this extraordinary journey he's been on for now over 50 years, but also the lives he's been able to impact and, of course, having his work being recognized. And I think that's the thing, reminding us all of what we can do. Mr. Ellerbee, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to as you're saying goodbye to this year and looking forward to 2021?
I am looking to celebrate life, my existence, my thankfulness that God has given to me, the graces that he's given to me to live one more day, to see clearly and to understand what life has to offer. Life could be great if you want it to be great. You have to look inside, restructure sometimes those feelings that you have inside, and throw that white flag up and say, I've won the battle. I am still existing. I'm still doing what I want to do. I'm still loving. I'm still providing. All of those things are great things that I look for in the new year to come.
All right. Well, we definitely look forward to what you have in store. Mr. Ellerbee, thank you so much again for taking out this time. Really means more than you know, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
God bless you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for that. God bless you as well. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.